Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is November 7th, 2020. This is the Flight Sim News. So, Heatblur posted another video the other day detailing the sound overhaul for the F-14 Tomcat B. The video itself is only about 1:08 long, but it's pretty cool, and it goes to show how much work they've put into overhauling the sound in the B variant of the Tomcat, and can't wait to see the A model. November 18th, here we come. Next up, the latest from Matt Wagner. This time it is the F-16 Viper Maverick Boresight procedure video.
Hey everyone, Wags here from Eagle Dynamics, and in the open beta we released this week, one of the new items is the ability to boresight Mavericks in the Viper. In particular, when you start from the ground, whether it's a ramp start, hop start, or a runway start, the Maverick line of sight will not necessarily be aligned, say, with the targeting pod line of sight when they're slaved with each other. So I thought I'd make a little video to talk about how that is done through the boresight mode. So to begin with, we'll go to air to ground mode. And we can do this either visible or pre-plan mode. In this example, I'm going to use pre-plan mode. Let's bring up the targeting pod. And Maverick video. And while we're here, let's go ahead and make Maverick video SOI. Change our field of view. Change SOI. Now back to the targeting pod. Field of view, zoom in a bit. And kind of hard to see us go different camera. That's better. So out here in the middle of this field we have a little bunker, and we're going to be using that as our reference point to align the targeting pod and the Maverick seekers. So team is forward short to designate that. Back to the Maverick page, make it SOI, and what we can see is we have the bunker actually already right in smack in the middle of those crosshairs, and that's because we started in the air. But let's say we started on the ground and started off here. So what we do to boresight is we slew the crosshairs to place the reference object in the middle of them. And here we can see our range. We're going to wait till about 7.5 to almost 8 miles to go TMS forward short to designate it with a Maverick seeker. Yeah, let's take just a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're first doing station 3, and then we'll do station 7. And if you have, say, multiple Mavericks of the same type on a station, it will boresight all the Mavericks on that.
It's about 2 minutes and 59 seconds long, and as usual, it's very insightful. Nice little tutorial from Matt over there at Eagle Dynamics. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. Next up is the weekend news from Eagle Dynamics. Not really anything new to talk about here. This weekend news pretty much just goes over the 2.5.6 open beta update and some of the stuff they've added, and then they go in to talk about the damage model for the World War II aircraft, and that's really it. They go into a little bit more detail about how some of the stuff is working and what they've done to make it more Hollywood, I guess, to make it look better than what it did. And then they talk about the new assets added to the World War II Assets Pack, which, again, are all the things that were included in the change log. So this weekend update really has absolutely nothing new in it that we didn't already know. But I will throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. So talking about that open beta update, it was a rather big update and added a lot of stuff. And one of the most exciting things they've done is they've added the new World War II Damage Model, but one of the not so exciting things they've done is they've only added it to their own online servers. So the only way you could take advantage of and help them test the new World War II Damage Model for Warbirds is to log in online on one of their servers and get blown out of the sky by another player. Doesn't sound like a good time to me, to be honest, but once they add this to the game itself and let us get in there and have fun with the AI, then I will enjoy it. But until then, you've got to log into their servers, and they talk a little bit about it here, and then they go into detail to tell you that, okay, the server name is World War II Team Deathmatch Damage Model, blah, blah, blah. And here's the IP address and the port, and same thing here. So you can log into it and give it a test if you want to right now. But I'm going to wait until they actually implement it into the code, and you don't have to go online to test it. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. Alright, this is kind of a follow-up to that C-130 Hercules mod that came out for DCS World. There's a new video now, and also some of the new information I got from the guy was that you can actually fire the guns on this thing if you go to the different stations, and there is an AC-130 variant, and they're still working on a lot of different things about it, but you can actually get in there and fire those guns now. So I was able to finally download it, and I just didn't get time to install it yet and try it out. But I will be soon, and I'll let you guys know what I think about that. But until then, here's this new video, part 2, that GN Gaming has come out with.
Hey everyone, so we are back with the next video, and here we are going to look at the takeoff and cargo of the Hercules. So first thing, this is to quickly show you how the loadouts work. You got C forward, C mid, C aft. So that's basically your cargo where it gets stored. So it works with weight, and if you don't do it correctly, you're going to have to trim very badly and you might end up crashing your plane. So now let's go back. Let's just see our weight here. 50% flaps, okay. 122 knots, rotate, okay. So we're gonna hold the wheel brakes in and progress to full throttle, and we're gonna press P for just takeoff speed or power. Just a little bit of extra. Remember to do it in the right sequence as well, otherwise they're gonna glitch into each other. Here they come.
The cargo drop is pretty neat. So basically you can just like drop vehicles out of the back of the thing. That combined with the ability to shoot guns on it, I think that's going to be fantastic. Overall, it's one of the coolest mods I've seen for DCS in a while. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. Here's something I happened upon about a week ago, and I've been meaning to throw that in the Flight Sim news. This guy, Tech Creations, has come out with an F-14 Tomcat display panel USB controller. 210 bucks is what it's looking like. Sounds like a lot, but it looks like a rather nice controller overall. It's got lights, looks like a nice metal box, but it does mimic the panel that is in the Tomcat right over here, which is really nice. Not sure where I'd put it, but I know you guys are into all the different button boxes and whatnot, so I figured I would throw that in here so you can check it out for yourself. I'll throw a link to this in the video description so you can do just that. Okay, lastly, I think the biggest piece of news for this news video is the update 4.502 for IL-2 Stormovic Great Battles. And this is another big update. This one includes the Hawker Hurricane Mark II, one of the coolest and most iconic planes. And the C-47A Skytrain, the AI version of this, has been added as well. I'm dying to get in here and check it out. I just got my hands on the Hurricane the other day, and I'm going to boot it up and see what I can do in this plane and see how much fun it can be. But one of the things they're touting is the fact that it has the most variants and the most modifications out of any of the planes they have in IL-2 Great Battles thus far, which is pretty cool. And in addition to that, they've added the updated G-load physiology model. So from what I read last time, the GFX might be a little bit easier to deal with than what they were, but at the same time it also makes them more realistic from what they've gathered in their data. And then lastly, there was a variety of tank crew improvements. This update includes a whopping 68 things. The main one, of course, is the Hawker Hurricane Mark II collector's plane. The C-47A transport aircraft. The female crews have female voices in the radios now. The pilot physiology modeling has been improved significantly, and that goes back to developer diary 263. The zoom function now works correctly on VR devices with canted displays, PMAX. New multiplayer scenarios, including cooperative ones, are added for tank crew. They've added some 4K external textures for the BF-110E, and then A-20 and B-25 bombers got new paint schemes with invasion stripes for different time frames. And then the tank crew improvements, as you see, is a pretty long list. Airplane physics systems and damage model improvements, a very large variety of those. Visual aircraft improvements, AI aircraft corrections, career mode improvements, and again, in all, there's about 68 fixes, changes, and improvements in this brand new 4.502 update for IL-2 Stormovic Great Battles series. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. And that about covers it for the Flight Sim News. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button. And until next time, guys.